Hello, Facebook land. It's Brooke and Jasmine.
Hello.
We are so excited to be with you tonight. We have a little treat in store. We've got something brewing to kickstart the new year, and we wanted to come and talk to you about it, be in your energy, be in your space, and just share the gift of this time with each other.
Ooh, I'm so excited. And we have a super powerful packed weekend together. And it's the blue moon, it's the full moon, super moon, all the moons. But that means it's so powerful.
Well, this is wild because what's happening this weekend is really interesting. We haven't had this kind of blue moon cycle in 19 years. This is the ending of a 19-year chapter. And I can tell you where I was 19 years ago. And wow, has the evolution been huge. So that's crazy. And the last time that it lined up this way with a full moon, the blue moon, full moon on Halloween was 1944. Pretty pivotal time in world history. You know, that was World War II time. So super interesting weekend this weekend.
World War II.
I know, right? Isn't it
What
crazy?
are we kind of going through? A world war on consciousness?
100%. We're right in the thick of it. And it's not, well, it's more of a spiritual war and more of an internal war than anything else, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's why right at 144, right when I saw that. And I think that's why like we're truly stepping up. But in the most organic way. It's not like we really push this. And I mean, it's just with such ease and grace and how we've been able to like unlock our abundance, like through our own experience. But you and we both have been gravitated towards each other because we're supposed to be sharing this with other women.
We are. Absolutely. For those of you that don't know Jasmine and I and our story, my dog's shaking like crazy right now. You hear him? Yeah, he's like underneath the table trying to lick me.
He's getting excited.
I really love you too. Are you excited?
It's a lot of feminine energy.
Yeah. It is a lot of energy right now. My dog is freaking out. No, Jasmine and I met. We actually met at a retreat a little over a year ago. And there was this just immediate soul knowing between every single person in that group. There were 9 of us there. And it was the deepest, coolest spiritual experience that I've ever had. And it's been really interesting because Jasmine and I, and actually Kala and I, and several other people at this retreat have just been magnetized back to each other because we've got great work to do here on the planet. Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun when your soul tribe arrives?
Yeah, and it's like nothing else. Like it's hard to explain it because people really have to experience it. Because to some people who don't experience it, we're just a couple of friends who really like each other. But when you get to soul family connection, the synchronicities, the past life connections, like how all of our family just connects and how at my dinner table, and this is something Brooke is totally like, she's so into knowing about like the synchronicity and the harmonious energy of this. But at my dinner table, it fit all of us like perfectly.
Perfectly.
So, and then how we came here to the same lake.
Wild.
So crazy. And we didn't even we knew each other and we were just going our own ways after the retreat, but something gravitated us toward each other again. But it wasn't like we planned it. It wasn't an intention. It was just that gravitational pull.
Yeah. It just happened. So it's really interesting. It's so fun how when you're learning to walk in your truth and you're shedding the parts of you that aren't actually you and you're tapping back into your power, right? Your vibe really does attract your tribe. And
100.
It's so fun because we're watching all of the most amazing people pop up in our circles and in our life. And our mission on this planet has been revealed more and more and more. And that's actually why we're here to talk to you tonight. Nope. So we're here actually to shift the wealth. And for me,
And first,
that's
oh,
wild to say. Like I feel the energy and I feel the weight of that. We're here to shift the wealth. We're here to shift the vibration. We're here to tap into something different.
yes, absolutely. And the first thing that we need to do when we see this word is truly shift the vibration. That's like the first and foremost thing, is seeing this in a whole other energetic perspective. And through this whole weekend, we are going to help you really like open up these awareness lenses of shifting vibration of everything that you've ever been taught. And so when it comes to wealth, it's more than just one linear thought or a paradigm of programs that you think it is. And so we're here to really open and expand and shift it in such a way where it just flows out of you.
Exactly. Yeah, so wealth is an interesting thing. We were really playing with this word, and I know that it picks up a negative connotation because, we've got people in the world that have wealth that perhaps are not using it the way that we would like them to. And so I think for a lot of people on the planet, there's this really interesting energy around like, am I allowed to be wealthy? What does that even mean? How do I achieve that? I'd actually like to have that for myself, but different layers and levels of what will they think about me? That genetic hardwiring and that
Mm-hmm.
familial programming. Say that 10 times fast. That's so hard to say. But that stuff that you get from growing up around your family, right? And those paradigms and those belief systems and those judgments. And it's all of that unconscious stuff that we're going to be cracking open at this retreat that we're hosting in January, this Women's Winter Wealth Retreat. And we're going to be peeling back the layers of all of that and diving into the depth of yourself so you can actually find you. Because when you tap into yourself, when you get down to the root of it, you are abundant, infinite. You are an infinite being. You are source energy exploring itself. Abundance is your birthright. Well-being is natural. And all of it is meant to flow and shift with the
Mm-hmm.
current in harmony.
Yes.
So that's wealth. And for us, what wealth means is women empowering all levels to heal. So I'm going to let you talk about that a little bit.
And so this is truly the vibrational shift that we want to bring to these women, these sacred women who decide to come and join us, is truly see wealth through your lenses, through this divine feminine spirit, as women empowering all levels to heal. And for me, I want to say just even a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, right before I had my son, where I had a big, huge womanhood shift. It wasn't just like even a spiritual shift, but a womanhood shift. And from a kind of like an adolescent girl to a woman, I had a lot of healing to do. And so when I saw the word wealth or wealthy, I thought, and this is just 5 years ago, I thought that wealthy people were people richer than rich people. Like, that is how crazy of a separation that our mental mind, our psychological mind, since the beginning, whatever we've been taught since the beginning, to really like see. And it just creates such a separatism in people. And really, this new bringing power back to the people is this reunification. And how I feel Brooke and I really are bringing this reunification to people is by creating not so much of a separation between the classes, but really like finally getting people who really are hard workers who deserve this, who just don't have the resources to become wealthy or to finally have the opportunity to have a higher class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. I kind of thought the same thing too. I thought that wealth meant, and, maybe check yourself and see what it means for you. But I thought that you had to have a 27,000 square foot house and, a big fat pile of cash. And that
Right. Like
meant,
stacked. That's
yeah,
well.
like totally like piled up in the guest bedroom, right? Like go swim in it, like the cartoons used to do, right? Um, and I thought that's what wealth was. And it was really interesting for me to grow up and realize that actually a lot of those people that have that are missing some other things that were really important for me to have in my life: happiness, health, well being, time. And not saying that you can't have piles of cash and still have time. I think some of them do. But it really, like, when I tapped into the fullness of me and the truth of who I am, that wasn't actually wealth at all. So that was really curious. And when I really got down to it and I started to discover who I am, this crazy abundance thing started to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, I don't have a guest bedroom full of cash. I actually live in a travel trailer. We RV full time, but I don't require it. You know, wealth, when you begin to heal all the levels of yourself, and when you begin to heal all the layers, and you shed the stuff that isn't you, this crazy thing happens where abundance just flows, and it comes in and it comes out, and it happens as easy as breathing. And what you require shows up, and what you ask for is there. And in my opinion, through my own personal discovery, like that's the true definition of wealth, is being tapped into your magic, being the fullness of who you are.
Being able to create abundance from your own energy. That is truly wealth. Like that I'm starting to realize.
Yeah. Yeah. And isn't it magical? Like when you have that kind of wealth and you have that kind of magic, you're always in the right place at the right time. You're
Absolutely.
right. You're always provided for. You're always protected. And what a different energy space, because this kind of wealth, when you're empowered on all levels, this is a contributory kind of wealth. This is a, how can I provide? How can I give back? What can I create? What can I do? Who can I be?
Right.
Kind of
And
energy.
that is really like, that is truly wealth and tapping into our own energy to provide for us. Because once we start to really see how can we be of service, then that's when the universe will provide and just keep on utilizing you as a conduit for helping others be that shift, be that change. Being, the empowering person that you are is through the healing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Isn't it interesting that actually, like, getting into service, getting into action, getting real with yourself, um, is the path to open up the doorway to abundance, like actually allowing the gift of whoever you are to be shown and to be seen and to be utilized on the planet. That is the door. And so this weekend that Jasmine and I are hosting, and it's from the 7th through the 11th. So it's actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, and then we'll kind of pit her out. 5 days, long weekend. We're going to be peeling back all of these layers so you can find the truth of who you are. So you can find your magic. So you can find the medicine that you be.
And
I mean,
seriously, with the weekend, with being with 5 days with sisterhood, for me,
mm,
even at the retreat where I met you, those 5 days was such, or 4 days was such medicine to my whole being, like my whole life. Like, I want to even say that that retreat was one of the best experiences of my life because I have never met people like me, like-minded people like me. And then the stuff that happened and the synchronicities and the mind-blowing stuff that occurred, it was just like, you
it
can't make
couldn't have
this
been
up.
planned.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, we couldn't have written it. It couldn't have been planned. It was just so magical.
And how we all really, really just were in sync with each other's energy, yet we were all different from all different walks of life. That was
Yeah.
what's wild.
Well, it was such an interesting experience for me, and I'm so excited for us to create it for all of the beautiful souls that are going to come, because it's exactly what you said. This sisterhood thing. Gosh, we live such disconnected lives. When
Or
I
to
was live,
actually not like women.
yeah, right,
When we're
right,
going to be showing each other that we're sisters, we're not just friends, we are literally sisters. Like our souls, literally, like, I talk a lot about souls and contracts and being at the right place at the right time. There's never, nothing happens, everything happens for a reason. And so every soul that comes to this retreat, this sacred healing, it was all written already. It was already written in the books. And that's the super fun part. And then like seeing each other for the first time. And even though we get like
in a
nervous
long
and stuff,
time.
there's such a familiarity. But like it's so crazy. I know you know this.
No, I love it. I love that you're talking about this because this is, I see him behind you.
Yeah.
You've got someone sneaking in.
He feels the energy too. He's like, Duke.
He does. Yeah, he feels it. All right, so let's talk about what's going to happen. It is January 7th through the 11th. I'm so excited for this magical weekend. Um, this is a VIP, all inclusive experience, January 7th through the 11th, up here in Montana, right off the gorgeous Flathead Lake, right near Glacier National Park. If you guys look at the pictures, just look at
Just
the
Google.
pictures. Just Google. Use the Google machine and check out this place that we're in because it is one of the most magical spaces I have ever been in my entire life. There's a reason why we've been called back here.
And
So,
I recommend Googling Glacier National Park winter,
when-
Flathead Lake winter. We are going to be nestled right in between the two. So super potent, powerful energy, which we both understand the energy that is around here is another vortex.
it is. It's another vortex, and it's so fun. We spoke about this last time, but this area is the same place that called Jasmine and I back home to it 2 years in a row, and first myself and then Jasmine, and we found such great healing, such great release, such great expansion spending the winter time up here. And it's really great because we're far enough north. The sun rises later in the morning. There's this cozy feeling of going within, and this potent magic, like where you actually have to get up and you have to go use the daylight hours, the sunlight hours, and use them while you have to lean into the light in the darkness because the days are short up here,
Yes.
especially in January. But I love that. I love the energy of that. I think that so much in our culture, we're so busy hustling and grinding and pushing, we don't actually give ourselves. And we are cyclical beings, we are seasonal beings. Women in particular, that you have a monthly cycle for a reason. You are a cyclical being. And we actually need these periods of coming within, of slowing down, of leaning into the dark spaces. And it's deeply healing. And after every winter comes the spring, and you are going to find the most beautiful growth happens after this time of just release and sisterhood and introspection. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to
And
include, go ahead.
and one last thing about that, this darkness that happens that occurs with the winter shift. It's really awesome being up here because the more higher we are, we're at the 48. We're able to really be more in tune with nature and her seasons because we have all the seasons here. And winter is one of those times of really purification, detoxification, but really pure, holy. There's something so magical about the snow here. Like it's literally a wonderland. It's you enter another portal in just the valley alone because it's tucked away. So there's glacier, these huge mountains, and then there's other mountains, and it's right in between is the valley and Flathead Lake. But right in there and right towards the east of Montana, you go eastern Montana towards Glacier more. And that is just a whole other portal. Like I wouldn't be surprised if actual dragons were there. Like really, really cool stuff. Really
Very
cool
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, it's magical up here. So this VIP retreat weekend, it is all inclusive. It includes all of your meals, your travel from the airport, not your plane ticket, because we know everybody's coming from a different spot. It
Right.
will include all of your activities, our ceremonies, a gift goodie bag, treasure chest. Shh. I
You're
know.
so bad at surprises. Oh my God.
No, I always give away the good part. I know. I'm so bad at surprises. I'm going to have to do something else extra cool. All inclusive weekend. All of the activities are included, all of the breakthrough, the workshops, the luxury, the pampering, everything that we're talking about here. The deal is everybody that comes is a VIP. However, the early bird does get the worm. The first people will get to choose their bed first. So they'll have their pick of room and stay space. And then those that trickle in towards the end, we are so excited that you're coming and you're going to have an awesome space as well. Okay.
Yes. And so we have a cacao ceremony. We'll have a couple throughout the weekend, but I really feel this is super important. And I implement this in all the retreats that I have ever facilitated. And the reason why is because cacao is actually a medicinal plant and it comes from South America. And the indigenous people of South America also use cacao in ceremony. And so this cacao actually holds the healing properties of heart expansion. It opens up the heart chakra. And there's some medicinal properties about cacao that create like a spiritual effect. Not hallucinogen, but it opens you up, it gets you more receptive, and it's definitely not like a psychedelic or anything like that. It's not as potent, but it is medicinal. And so we will be doing this in a sacred ceremony in an old ancestral way that I remember. And so it's really important for me in my healing practice and how I help facilitate other people's healing because through these cacao ceremonies, there is so much heart opening, opening of the mind and memories and the core wounds that come up to related to the heart and related to healing. And whatever that needs to come up will come up during this sacred time. And it's going to be amazing because we are in this sacred space with full of nature all around. And before we even talk about our retreat space, which is just like, whoa, top of the top of the top, like
Just this
nothing we've
place, this
ever
whole
been.
area. You guys,
Yes.
Montana has a low enough population. It's actually still considered frontier land. And so there's a lot of space. There's a lot of room for energy to grow and filter out. And so much nature, so much wildlife. We've seen bears and moose and
Mm.
tons of elk.
Oh, and we will totally see, maybe not bears because they'll be in hibernation, but we'll probably see elk around.
Mhm.
What's honestly really cool about Montana is that it's one of like the fifth least populated states in America, like one of the top five least populated states. And honestly, it's not even at 2 million in the whole state. So less dense people, a lot less density. It's all open and all Mother Nature. And so with that cacao ceremony, we are going to be doing lots of just remembrance and a lot of breakthroughs through that experience. And so that is going to be a really important workshop that I help women open up through their empowerment and through healing.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we will also be doing quantum healing hypnosis. So we have a certified quantum healing hypnosis therapy licensed therapist who is going to be coming to do past life regressions with all of us. So we'll be doing a group past life regression, which is so cool. The few times that I've done a past life regression with another person in the room, my unconscious mind has conveniently brought up a lifetime that we share.
Of
So,
course.
right. Of course, my higher self would do that for me. So I'm so excited to see how this group of people, this group of people that we know are already destined to come, that are already feeling the heart pull to have it happen. And I'm so excited just to see what exists there and what we can cultivate there over the weekend. And then additionally, if you choose it, of course, all of this is if you choose it, if you choose to participate. We do love it when you're all in. Having a one-on-one past life regression session yourself. So you can actually sit and you can dive deeper into some of the things that have popped up for you, maybe some of the money wounds, the old programming, the old traumas, the old dramas, and dive into that so you can truly find release. And you guys, I can tell you that this type of modality has absolutely changed my life, and I am so excited we have Christina coming to do this for us. I'm so excited.
Yes, and that alone is anywhere between to a $500 to $1,000 value in itself in that one-on-one session that this hypnotherapist is going to be giving every single sister. But really cool too is that in the beginning, sometime when we have our welcome time and we get together, in the beginning of the retreat, we're going to be doing a group quantum healing hypnosis, past life regression, all of us sisters together, and then one-on-one throughout the whole weekend. And she wants to focus on the money wounds or the past lives where the wounds specific to you that you personally deal with on a day-to-day basis. But again, you can always switch it up to whatever you want, whether you want to go back to a past life to understand your relationship with your child or your relationship with your partner and things like that. So yes, it's very, very powerful.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Additionally, this is a wealth retreat, so we will be leaning into luxury and pampering with yoga, massage, facials, the whole 9 yards. We really want you to come. We want you to relax. Part of really leaning into the feminine energy is leaning into relaxing, leaning into opening up, receiving. Yes. So plenty of this over the course of the weekend, as well as a wealth self activation party. Say that 4 times fast. Wealth self. Yeah, so I'm so excited. This thing is so much fun to do. One of the ways that I have drastically shifted my life and I've created a whole new reality is to actually speak it into existence. So once you clear away all the stuff and you've got a nice, clean foundation on which to build, it is a great time to begin to activate the energies that you would like to have present in your future. And your words, the words that you speak, the things that you say, actually are a creative force. So we'll be having a wealth self activation party where we actually step into the shoes of our highest timeline self, the greatest version of ourselves. Yes. And don't worry, it's not just we're going to have a great dinner party, but we're going to spend the last couple of days of retreat fully planted in this wealth self, in this future self. And we will be communicating with one another as it is so, because it is. We will be living into it as a declaration.
We will be speaking into this now moment as if we are already in this future wealth self. And it's going to be a huge activation because can you imagine 9 women or however many
11.
women?
11 with us. 12. 11 plus 9 of them. Plus, 12. We might have 13.
Who knows? 15.
13 is the feminine number. We might need 13.
Yeah, imagine these powerful women after a whole week of healing and final activation before the disconnect before we go off our separate ways, back to our missions or back to wherever we have to learn,
Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing that I really love about this is we are offering, we're going to have a 4-week wealth workshop post retreat. So this is huge because here's what usually happens. You go to a great weekend, you go to a great retreat, you go to a seminar, you get all like lit up and excited and everything shifts for a minute. But then you go back to your regular reality. And it's like back to regularly scheduled programming. And what we have found is that we actually require more support than that. We don't want the sisterhood to end at the end of the weekend. We want it to carry with you. We want to have you have a support as you go back into your new life as your new self. We want to help you begin that transition, that shift into your new reality. So a 4-week wealth workshop post retreat. We chose some hard names. And then additionally, a private group for retreat members and messenger access. We want to be in full communication before, during, and after. Because the truth is, Jasmine, when people register for something like this, the shift begins the moment you register.
Oh my God, yes.
Doesn't
It's
it?
the initiation.
Yeah, it's the initiation. The moment that you say yes, the moment that you make a commitment to yourself, it shifts the energy and there's this thing that happens. And you'll start to have all the old things, all the things that were keeping you stuck, all the things that were keeping you small, they do start to pop up and they start to come into your awareness, and they're just opportunities to grow. But we want to make sure that you have full support through that as well.
Right.
Okay.
And also, like, being aware of the resistance and the hesitation that arises when it comes to giving or receiving money. And honestly, we are providing such a luxurious lifestyle type of weekend that Brooke and I are even providing for ourselves. Like, we are doing a lot of wealth shift healing for ourselves because we have never been in a place like this. We've never been pampered in a way of getting a facial and a massage and then this and then that and all of these fun things. And then a crazy, beautiful goddess dinner party, surf and turf, and all of this amazing like healing and cacao and just lots of stuff.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so we have a teaser video for you that we wanted to show you before we jump off tonight. Additionally, Jasmine has an announcement. You need a reminder? I'll give you a reminder. In November.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. For like 3 seconds, my heart dropped. I'm like, oh my God.
What did I forget?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so November. Brooke and I, we are going to be hosting a cacao ceremony. And this is going to be a virtual cacao, of course, but this is going to be really special because this is going to be like a teaser, like an introduction into all the healing and even the breakthroughs that you will experience through a virtual cacao ceremony setting. And so I will be setting up the whole time, setting up intentions, and we all get together on a Zoom party. And what's going to be really fun is I will be sending you personally a little dose of cacao, which, by the way, if you guys don't know what cacao is, it's chocolate. It's the cacao bean from Guatemala, the South American cacao. And so it's basically chocolate, but a medicinal chocolate. And we are going to be doing this in a sacred ceremonial way. And so I will be sending it to you, your physical address, your mailing address, sending you a little personal dose of cacao. And I will be sending you directions on how to make it. It's super easy. You literally just make hot water, you boil it, you mix it together however you want, whether you whisk it or you blend it. And I personally like to put a little bit of spice into it. But I will send you all the instructions you need to do. It will be anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours long, where we will be really going into a full ceremony with cacao, the aftermath, understanding our higher self and communicating with her, and really seeing it in a more open and receptive way. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be happening in November. So we will tell you all about the information for that soon.
Yeah, so this is super exciting if you're really curious about some of the stuff that we'll be up to over the weekend. Maybe you know that you want to jump in and begin the healing, begin the wealth shift now. You definitely want to take part in that.
And one
Being,
last thing I wanted to
yeah,
mention that
oh yeah,
just popped through, and Spirit told me to remind because this was something that I wanted to share, is that when we do this cacao ceremony, the people who already have signed up for our retreat, their admission is complimentary, and I will just send them the cacao to their address. So this will be an energetic exchange, and we will be posting more about that soon.
perfect, awesome. Okay, so super excited about that. You can come check out what we're up to. Come get your heal on. Come spend some time with some sisterhood for a little while, even virtually, because isn't it cool? We have technology and we can do this kind of thing from anywhere in the world. Super excited about that. All right, well, we have a teaser video for you guys, so I'm actually going to pop us off the screen. I know, I'm so excited. And let me drop this banner real quick. Where's the play? There it is.
There's no sound. I don't hear any sound.
Oh no, not the sound. I will post it with sound later then. All right, I'm going to totally post that with sound later, you guys. Sorry that didn't come through.
That was so beautiful. I loved it.
It's such a gorgeous place up here. I can't even tell you. It's going to take your breath away. Super excited. If you're coming, we'd love to have you. We're so excited. We already know. I'm feeling the energy of it.
Me
But
too.
be prepared. All right. Be prepared for a weekend of adventure and play and going within and connecting and relaxation, moments of sisterhood and moments of solitude, moments of reflection. Come prepared to be warm. Bring layers if you're coming. Okay. It is winter time up here, and I'm just so excited to share the gift of this place and share the gift of breakthrough with everyone.
Yes.
Anything else?
And Brooke and I have been really working diligently and putting so much focus and our medicine and our heart into this, because this is truly, for me, one of my most potent offerings to date that I
Ever.
can share with anyone because of all that I've experienced so far. And just really, when we reconnected, that's when a lot has shifted for me. My wealth shifted when I reconnected with you, and it's more than just the connection. It's really learning how to implement these new ways of life, conscious living, being aware of this abundance that we can unlock. And so we really just want to share all of this greatness with you.
So excited. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're so excited to share more with you. Stay tuned for that cacao ceremony in November. And we can't wait to see you in January in Montana.